This is the IUX Education Podcast, your shortcut to smarter trading and investing.
Where complex markets become simple. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking those fascinating articles and specific questions you shared with us, and we're really digging into insights that, well, hopefully make you a smarter, more informed person in this challenging world of trading.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're the IUX Education team, and our mission, really, is to unpack all this material with you, turning maybe complex stuff into clear, actionable understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm genuinely looking forward to today's topic because it touches on something so fundamental and often, frankly, quite difficult in trading psychology.
And a very warm welcome from me, too. Look, this isn't about just reading from a textbook, right?
No, definitely not.
It's about having a real chat, an engaging conversation, hopefully uncovering some of those aha moments, making sure you walk away with a deeper grasp of these critical ideas.
Exactly.
Whether you're just starting out, or you've been navigating the markets for years, we'll keep it engaging and deeply relevant.
Absolutely. And today we're tackling a question that I think every single person who's ever traded or maybe even just thought about it has wrestled with at some point.
Oh, for sure.
It's a critical challenge. It taps right into our deepest psychology and, maybe more immediately, right into our bank accounts. So based on the insights you brought us, let's dive deep into this. Is revenge trading ever justified after a big loss?
Ooh, yeah. It's one of those topics that feels incredibly relatable, doesn't it? Because it touches on something so, well, human, that sort of primal urge to get back what you feel you've lost.
Okay, let's really unpack this. Let's start with a common scenario, one many of you might just recognize. Imagine you're trading. You've done your homework, really diligent, applied your systematic analysis, you've got a predefined strategy. It looks like a high probability setup.
Mm-hmm. The ideal situation.
Right. You execute your position, everything's going to plan, and then bang. The market does what markets do, an abrupt adverse price move.
Out of nowhere.
Exactly. Maybe it's unexpected news hitting the wire, maybe a sudden volatility spike, or just something shifts, something totally outside your control.
Right.
So what happens next? Your risk plan, that safety net you set up like your stop loss, it kicks in.
As it should.
As it should.
Mm-hmm.
And this results in what we call a drawdown, basically, a loss, a reduction in your capital.
Yeah.
And this, listeners, this often triggers what psychologists call a potent negative affective response.
Which is a fancy way of saying.
Let's be frank, it's that burning anger, that intense frustration that hits you right in the gut. It feels really intense.
Yeah, visceral.
Visceral, exactly. And from that really intense emotional state, there often arises this immediate, powerful impulse. You just want to jump back in, re-enter the market, and rapidly recoup that loss, erase the sting of it. That is the start of a revenge trade.
Wait. So it's not just about the money you lost, but about how that loss feels, like a physical blow almost. A punch to the gut that just demands you punch back immediately.
That's a crucial observation, yes. You're really hitting on that emotional core. It's almost as if the market has personally offended you, rather than just delivering a numerical outcome.
Okay, I get that.
Exactly. And while, look, a purely rational assessment would immediately tell you this kind of reaction is suboptimal, let's say.
Understatement, maybe.
Perhaps. But the really difficult question, the one we're exploring today, is whether there's any justification, any tiny sliver of logic, for this overwhelming urge to get even with the market. Ultimately, based on the research you pointed us to, it really boils down to a trader's core professional challenge, effectively regulating your emotions in a high-stakes, fast-moving decision environment, where instinct often fights discipline.
And that's where it gets really fascinating, doesn't it? Because it's suddenly not just about charts and numbers anymore. It becomes a deep dive into, well, human nature itself.
Right, here's where it gets truly insightful. Because that urge to revenge trade, it isn't logical in the usual sense. It's deep, it's primal, and it's profoundly psychological. Think of it this way. Our brains are, well, they're hardwired in some pretty peculiar ways when it comes to money, and often self-sabotaging ways.
Okay, how so?
First up, there's this thing called loss aversion. Psychologists have shown pretty convincingly that the pain of losing something, say $500, feels roughly twice as powerful, twice as impactful as the pleasure of gaining the same amount.
Twice as powerful. Wow.
Yeah, think about it viscerally. If you found $500 on the street, you feel good, right? Nice little buzz.
Sure, definitely.
Now imagine that same $500 just vanished from your wallet. Which feeling is stronger?
Oh, the vanishing, for sure. That feels awful. Gut-wrenching.
Exactly. Gut-wrenching. For most people, that loss feels way more intense, maybe twice as painful as the joy of the gain. Our brains literally light up differently on scans.
Yeah.
So when your stop loss triggers and that $500 is gone, your brain isn't just seeing a number. It's sensing a primal threat. It triggers this desperate alarm.
Like a danger signal.
Precisely. It's hardwired to want an immediate undo button to fix that pain right now. And in that moment, revenge trading feels like the only cure, the fastest way back to feeling okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's a powerful and maybe a bit unsettling thought. So our brains are literally pushing us towards something irrational just to feel better, to escape that discomfort, even if it makes things worse financially.
It sounds like we're fighting our own biology, doesn't it?
It really does.
And we absolutely are. It's a constant battle. And look, it's not just about the numbers, the loss aversion. Second, there's the role of the ego.
The ego. Okay.
When a trade goes wrong, especially one you felt really strongly about, had high conviction in, it can honestly feel like a personal insult.
Right. Like the market is saying, you're wrong.
Exactly. Like it personally attacked you, exposed some flaw in your judgment. And for many people, our self-worth, sometimes even our identity, can get tangled up with our perceived success in things like trading.
I could see that.
So that desire to revenge trade is often really a desire to restore your ego, to prove to the market, and maybe more importantly to yourself, that you were right all along. It stops being about making money.
And starts being about being right.
Precisely. And that, as some of your shared articles really highlight, is a critical and incredibly dangerous mental shift. It blurs the line between objective analysis and just needing personal validation.
Dangerous is right. Okay, what else?
And then we often fall victim to something called the gambler's fallacy.
Okay, the gambler's fallacy. What's that?
It's basically this mistaken belief that if something happens more often than normal for a bit, it's bound to happen less often in the future, or the other way around.
Like flipping a coin.
Exactly like flipping a coin.
Yeah.
After a big unexpected loss, our brains can trick us. We think, well, the market can't possibly go against me again. I'm due for a win.
The I'm due feeling. I know that one.
Right. It's like getting 5 tails in a row and thinking the next flip must be heads. But the reality is, each flip is independent.
And each trade is independent, too.
Largely, yes. So this flawed logic makes us believe the next trade is somehow a sure thing. It justifies taking massive, uncalculated risks, chasing that win that we think is guaranteed, but it just isn't. I remember early on, after a really nasty losing streak, I literally felt this pull, like an invisible hand pushing me to just hit buy again, thinking it has to turn around now, I'm due. It's a powerful illusion.
Wow. And it's so seductive in that moment, isn't it? Because sometimes the market does reverse, and then that flawed logic feels like it was right, which makes it even harder to resist next time.
Spot on.
So, okay, putting this all together, what does it mean for us? Based on the psychology, it sounds like the feeling, that urge to revenge trade, is deeply human. It's this potent cocktail of wanting to avoid pain, defend the ego, and these cognitive biases tricking us.
Yeah, that sums it up well.
But acting on it, that's where the real danger is. So the first crucial lesson here seems to be, acknowledge the feeling is real, it's human, but don't just surrender to the impulse. It's a huge mental battle.
Precisely. We've definitely mapped out those powerful psychological traps. But these feelings, compelling as they are, they often lead to a very real, very dangerous financial reality. So what's the practical fallout? What happens when you let these impulses drive?
That's the key question, isn't it? Because understanding why we feel it is one thing. Seeing the actual devastation when we give in, that's something else entirely.
Exactly. And this is where the cold, hard logic just slams down. Revenge trading isn't just emotionally draining. It is genuinely one of the fastest ways to completely destroy a trading account.
Financial suicide, you called it earlier.
And I wasn't being hyperbolic. It really can be. The most obvious, immediate reason. It's the complete abandonment of your trading plan.
Throwing the map away.
Exactly. Your trading plan, the one you carefully built, maybe back-tested, your strategy, your entry rules, your exit rules, and crucially, your risk management rules, that plan is your only real edge in the market.
It's your blueprint.
It's your blueprint, your GPS in chaos. The second you decide to revenge trade, you've literally thrown that entire plan, your only advantage, straight out the window. You're not trading anymore. You're just gambling. Pure gambling with raw, unfiltered emotion as your only guide. Reacting to pain, not logic.
That makes so much sense. It's like having a detailed flight plan for a plane, right? And the moment you hit turbulence, you just rip up the plan and start yanking levers randomly, just desperate to stop shaking. You're not flying anymore, you're just reacting.
Perfect analogy, just
Yeah.
sheer recklessness. And that leads directly to the second point, something your shared articles really hammered home. Catastrophic risk management.
Ah, yes. The position sizing.
Exactly. Revenge traders almost never trade with a normal, sensible position size. They double down, triple down, maybe even quadruple down. They're desperate to win back that first loss, maybe more, all in one single heroic trade.
The magic bullet trade.
Right. They see that one trade wiping away all the pain. And crucially, in that super emotional state, they often ditch their stop losses.
Oh, that's bad.
Very bad. Because they just can't stomach the thought of another loss, or they're utterly convinced this time it has to go my way. That single act, trading way too big with no stop loss, that's the signature move of an account about to blow up. It completely violates the #1 rule of trading, capital preservation. You have to protect your capital. Without it, you're out of the game. Simple as that.
You're just setting yourself up for disaster.
Totally. And finally, revenge trading creates this destructive downward spiral. Let's say you take that huge revenge trade, totally convinced it's your comeback, and it loses too. The emotional pain, it doesn't just double, it multiplies exponentially. The anger, the frustration, the desperation, it all intensifies, which leads to another, probably even more reckless trade, maybe now fueled by sheer desperate hope instead of just anger.
It sounds like trying to put out a fire with gasoline.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Each loss just reinforces the desperate need to get even, digging the hole deeper and deeper until there's absolutely nothing left. It becomes this horrible, self-fulfilling prophecy of ruin, a black hole sucking in your capital and your emotional strength.
Yeah, it's true. That old saying, the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Revenge trading feels like the fastest way to test that limit and lose. You're not just digging a hole, you're burying yourself under this mountain of bad decisions.
Okay, so understanding the danger is one thing, but overcoming that impulse right in the heat of the moment, that's the real challenge. So let's shift gears. Let's talk practical, actionable steps. The antidote, if you will. How do you actually control emotions in trading, especially right after a big hit? This is where your questions about what next really matter.
Okay, good. Practical steps. I need this.
Step 1, the immediate circuit breaker walk away. This is hands down the most important rule, and probably the hardest one to follow when that emotional wave hits.
Right, when you least want to.
Exactly. The second you feel that hot surge of anger, that sickening frustration, that overwhelming urge to jump back in and fix it, you must physically remove yourself. Close the platform, turn off the computer, leave the room.
Seriously, just get away.
Yes. Go for a walk, listen to music, read something completely different. Do anything to create a gap, both physical distance and time, between the trigger, that loss, and your ability to act on the feeling. This cool down period, it's non-negotiable. Trying to trade when you're emotionally fired up is like, I don't know, trying to perform surgery with shaky hands. Recipe for disaster.
So basically, hit the emergency brake, disconnect, like stepping away from a really heated argument before you say something you know you'll regret.
Perfect. Or putting down that extra slice of cake when you know you shouldn't. It makes sense logically, but man, is it hard when the adrenaline's pumping. I've definitely struggled with that urge myself. We all have.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so step 1, walk away, get space. What's next?
It is incredibly hard, but that's where distancing really shows. Give yourself that space. Once you've cooled down, then you move to step 2. Conduct a logical post-mortem, but
Later,
not right away. Definitely not right away. Emphasize later. Do not try to analyze the trade immediately while you're still feeling raw. That's just asking your biases to jump in and confirm your anger or self-pity. Wait. Wait until the next day or at least a few hours later when your head is genuinely clear.
Okay, then what?
Then, when you're calm, open your trading journal. Analyze the loss objectively. Ask yourself critical, dispassionate questions. Was this a good trade according to my plan that just didn't work out? Market randomness?
Right.
Or did I break my rules? Did I mess up the entry, the exit, the risk management? If you followed your plan perfectly, it was simply a business expense. Annoying, yes, but part of the game. An acceptable cost.
Okay.
But if you broke your rules, that's a valuable lesson in discipline, a clear signal you need to work on something. This process turns a painful loss from an emotional wound into just data. Cold, hard data for improvement.
That distinction, business expense versus discipline lesson. That's really powerful. It totally changes the narrative, doesn't it? From I failed to, okay, what can I learn? But then, when do we get back in? Do we just jump back to our normal trading size, or?
Excellent question. And that leads us straight to step 3. Rebuild confidence by reducing size. When you do decide to return to the market, do not go back to your normal position size immediately.
Why not?
Because it adds immense pressure. It magnifies the fear of taking another loss right away. Instead, cut your size. Cut it in half, maybe even down to 25%.
Okay, trade small.
Trade small. Because the goal of your next few trades is not about winning back the money you lost. Let me say that again. It is not about recouping the loss right away.
Okay, so what is the goal then?
The goal is simply to execute your plan perfectly, to make good, disciplined trades regardless of the outcome, and regain your psychological balance, your equilibrium. A few small, well-executed winning trades, even if the profit is tiny. They can do wonders for your confidence.
I see. It's about reinforcing good habits.
Exactly. You're retraining your brain, proving to yourself, yes, I can follow my rules.
Yeah.
I can trade effectively without that crushing pressure of high stakes. You're building back a positive feedback loop based on discipline, not just on profit.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, reduce size. What else?
And finally, step 4. Journal your emotions. A really good trading journal, like the comprehensive tools you might find when practicing on platforms like IUX, tracks more than just the numbers, the P&L, the stats.
It tracks feelings.
It tracks your feelings, yeah.
Yeah.
After a loss, or even after a big win, which can be just as dangerous emotionally, take a few minutes. Write down exactly how you felt. I felt angry. My heart was racing. My palms were sweaty. I desperately wanted to place another trade immediately to make it back.
Or even, I felt euphoric, like I was a genius after a win.
Absolutely. Because that can lead to overconfidence and rule breaking too. By writing these feelings down, by externalizing them, giving them a name, putting them on paper or screen, you become an observer of your emotions rather than just a prisoner to them.
Creating distance.
Exactly. You create separation. It allows you to analyze them, understand what triggers them, and ultimately gain control. This practice, often overlooked, is absolutely fundamental to mastering emotional control in trading and building that long-term resilience you need.
Observer, not prisoner. I like that.
So let's circle all the way back. Our original question, the one you brought to us. Is revenge trading ever justified after a big loss?
Yeah, the big question.
After digging into the psychology, the really stark financial realities, and these practical steps to overcome it. From a professional trading perspective, the answer, based on everything we've looked at, seems to be an unequivocal no.
A clear no.
A clear no. It is never justified. It's the absolute opposite of disciplined, successful trading.
Yeah.
It's just a direct path to self-sabotage.
It's really fascinating, though, isn't it, how our deepest human impulses, those things that maybe helped us survive way back when, can become our biggest financial enemies in a modern context like trading.
It really is paradoxical.
The real win, maybe, in this game. It isn't always about the money you make on any single trade. It's more about winning that constant ongoing battle against ourselves, against those powerful, sometimes destructive inner voices. That feels like something really worth thinking about and working on.
Absolutely. A powerful thought to leave everyone with. It really resonates with the journey of pretty much every successful trader, I think. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It's been a challenging topic, but incredibly important for anyone involved in trading.
And remember, if you want more insights, learning materials, articles, other deep dives like this one, all specifically for traders, you can always follow IUX Education. We're really here to help you navigate this complex world with more confidence and hopefully more discipline.
Definitely. So until next time, this has been The Deep Dive.
See you again soon. Goodbye.
And this is the IUX Education Podcast, where trading confidence begins.
That's a wrap for today. This episode was brought to you by IUX Trading Platform, your trusted partner for smarter investing.